Hello, guys. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
Are you free for coffee?
welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Listen, guys, have you seen Encanto?
I had to resist the urge of saying we're going to talk about Bruno.
Well, yeah, of course you have. Everybody has seen it, but we are loving it, you guys.
Yes. And as an animated fan, I'm happy that you loved an animated feature.
And I didn't fall asleep. That used to be the running joke. My kids, I fall asleep watching animated shows.
It was so good.
This held my attention.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. Great representation for people of color.
Yeah.
Which
they really hit the spectrum.
They really did.
They did.
And beautiful and compassionate depiction of refugee experience.
Which, guys,
I love that.
I want to point this out because you are probably thinking that we're looking at this from like, I have kids and, you know, Lisa has littles like grandbaby. No, this is really a review as an adult.
Yeah, we were watching it. I watched it just,
yeah.
I had no grand sugars were here. It was just me.
Okay.
So I watched it.
Yeah.
But
Now, did you watch it alone or did you watch it with?
No, just by myself.
Just by yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you advancing in the animated world.
But that depiction of them as refugees was so beautifully done.
They were refugees,
and
guys.
Compassionate.
Yes.
And I feel like in today's political climate, sometimes we lose sight of that.
Yes.
Like what that experience is, what's happening.
Yeah. And then look at everything they contributed.
Well, and then it's kind of like we tend to blame them.
Yes.
Like some way you're to blame for being in this situation.
Right.
And
that's not true.
It's not true. And this was just depicted so beautifully.
It was.
And
I
was really happy about that.
And if you're wondering, if you know, there's a lot of buzz around it. And if you've listened to our show any length of time, you know, I never watch anything when it comes out. Now, Lisa is pretty on par with like new shows and new stuff. I'm not. I'm always 2 to 6
Unless it's
years.
Anime.
You know what? I'm even late on that.
Okay.
I am like really bad. I do not like to watch it when it's all the buzz, but I'm going to tell you, and we'll be posting more pictures of us soon, which I'm really happy to share with you guys. And I grew up curly hair and I spoke Spanish as a kid. So a lot of people just automatically assumed she's Afro-Latino. And I was like, what does that even mean?
I get that too. A lot of people
I could Dominican. I could see Puerto Rican for you. I could see
have people argue with me. Yes, you are.
It's like, no, I'm not. No. I have black parents. But you know, and so when I saw this,
that I love that.
That was my big thing.
You
I
don't
was like,
see it.
No, Dolores.
You don't even
like
see it. Not even in live.
No,
you don't see it much.
No,
so
and this was
wonderful.
A very non-whitewash production. It was very true to the culture. There were people there that looked like a lot of people I know.
Yeah.
And it was really, really great.
I love that.
So,
and you've seen all the
guys, it is worth
things on social media with the kids seeing it. And it's so wonderful for them to see themselves.
It is. It's really good.
It was wonderful.
So this one, guys, watch it now. It is worth the hype. I'm actually going to say it's worth it. But we have like some really fun takeaways from Encanto. So,
yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't get all the takeaways until later.
Yeah.
My son and his wife, they were telling me they're just real deep into it. And all these wonderful
some good stuff, though.
Things it was about family brokenness, about the labels that people are assigned to in families.
Yeah.
And it does have to do with your gift, I suppose, in a way, but it's also the thing they need you to be.
Yes.
You know, so you know, if you watched it, there was a strong one, there was and in any family, there's a pretty one, there's a strong one, there's a one that's good with money, there's a one that's smart, there's the
one that can cook.
We have labels.
Yes.
And in most ways, that label, some ways, makes you valuable to the family unit.
Yeah.
And if you lose that, or maybe you don't want to do that.
Yes.
Then there's
a thing
problem.
Yeah. And there's some really it's still for kids.
Oh yeah, they won't
I have
get
a
all this.
1-year-old. I have a 4-year-old. They were really into it.
They're going to get the songs.
They got the songs and the dancing donkeys and the very TikTok moments. But if you're watching it, like if you're really watching it, you're like, holy cow, they just like healed some of my trauma.
There's a lot going on.
It's a kids.
Yeah.
It was animated for kids. And it's beautiful. It's very beautiful.
So we're giving it 2 thumbs up.
Do you have a favorite character? And Casita is a character to me. Casita's the house, guys.
Yeah,
Casita's the house. Casita
well,
is a
girl.
character. Maribel?
I guess, yeah, I think
so. You think her? Okay.
She's so adorable.
She is.
With the glasses. She's so precious.
And she wanted to help. Like
she did.
Yeah.
And then she was the one that everybody thought didn't have a gift. But she was kind of that intuitive type. You know, every family has a kid who picks up on everything.
Yep.
Like they feel everything that's going on in the house.
That was her.
They can't articulate it oftentimes, but they feel it. And that was her. So she knew there were cracks and some bad stuff is happening before anybody else
everyone's
knew.
Missing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and she's just so adorable, so precious.
So my favorite character is Luisa, which Luisa
the strong one.
Is the strong one.
Yeah, she was cool.
Luisa is Maribel's older sister. So Maribel's the youngest girl.
Well, she's a sister or cousin?
That's her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Maribel is the youngest girl. She has 2 older sisters, Isabella, who is the beautiful one, and Luisa, who is the strong one. And
it's cousins and siblings.
Yes,
and
because
it's
again,
just a big family.
It's a Mexican family. They all live, and I shouldn't say Mexican because I don't know for sure.
So I read somewhere where they're Colombian.
Colombian, you're right. It is Colombian.
But how do we know? How do we know? Did they ever say that? Do we know that?
I think there's little Easter eggs there, but we didn't know that.
I need to research. Something must have happened in Colombia that people that let you know. Though.
Oh, yes, I did read this. Okay, yes.
Okay, I'm going to research.
I saw something.
I'm going to research that.
You're right.
Okay.
And so, but anyway, they live in this huge house, and the house is casita. So they live in this big house together. So yes, there's cousins, there's everything. So there is the grandmother who had triplets, 2 girls, 1 boy. Everyone's heard we don't talk about Bruno. You've heard it somewhere. Well, Bruno is the boy. And his gift, in my opinion, he has an amazing gift, but his gift does not always yield what the grandmother wants.
What did you consider his gift to be?
He could see the future.
That's right. Okay.
He could see the future, he was terrified of it. And so what would happen was he would see the future. He would get to the bad part and he was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to give bad news. He didn't go as far as he could. So
to get to the good news.
Mm-hmm. And so I felt like that was it. And he was just persecuted because he always had the news she didn't want. And it's like, well, but he can't help that. He's just telling you what he sees.
And he oftentimes was like Maribel in that intuitive.
He was.
He felt everything.
He was.
So he kind of was on par, which is why he kind of could reach out to her. They had some similarities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting, I love to read these Disney spies that like look at everything. And when he is looking into the future, he sees his eyes turn green, which is supposed to represent hope in the future. Well, her glasses are the exact same shade of green as his eyes.
Look at how they just y'all. I just
and
don't notice all that.
He goes into hiding to protect her because he saw the house breaking behind her. He knew he couldn't tell his mom. He knew his mom wouldn't like that. What is her gift?
Well, when she tried to tell her, she wouldn't listen.
She wouldn't listen.
It's fine. Nothing's going on.
We don't talk about Bruno. Mm-hmm. So he goes into hiding. And he's like, he misses his family. He really does. But he feels like he's been the bearer of bad news. And when you really look at it, he wasn't. He's either telling them something that A, is common sense, or B, it's not his fault.
No, he didn't bring it.
He didn't bring it. He's
just reporting the news.
But Luisa is the strong one. And I identified completely with her character. Like, my husband's dancing. My kids are dancing. I'm sitting on the ottoman just tears. Just, oh my gosh. I'm just like crying.
Especially when she didn't want to be strong. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
When
and if you just listen to the words, it's really good. Yeah. Like, if you're listening to she was
a favorite.
And the person who plays her is the tiniest little, I mean, like, it's you see this big character, and then it's like this little tiny person. It's just always fun I like to look at who's playing it.
The voices.
Luisa was my favorite, but tied for Luisa is Uncle Felix. I loved him.
Oh, yeah. He was such a cutie.
Tia Peppa's husband. And he was the one who decided, no, we're going to talk about Bruno. We got to talk about this, guys. This is too much. We're going to talk about it. But it was great for everything from family dynamics to, I call it accidental trauma, where you're not meaning to cause trauma, but you are. And the grandma...
from your own trauma.
From her own trauma. She was accidentally causing some major trauma.
Which that happens so
it does
much.
happen.
I think probably to everybody.
Everyone,
don't you?
Yes. Everyone has
You're
something.
just a product of your environment. And you pass it on unknowingly.
Yes.
Unless you break it down, which to me, that was the beautiful thing. The part is that sometimes you just have to dismantle some stuff.
And that I would say that's the best takeaway is it just had to all come crashing down, y'all. Now I'm gonna spoil that for y'all, honey. They didn't fix Casita the way she was, but it came back better.
Right.
It came back better
on a solid foundation.
Yes,
no cracks, because and that's what happens. Isn't that what happens in life?
It is
sometimes, now taking y'all back when we were talking about and just like that, and Steve and Miranda and stuff, and people were up in arms about Steve, but I felt that same way with them. Like sometimes you just have to tear that.
We got to do away with it, baby.
And then you start over and you build something else. It works for everybody.
Yes. It's like painting a smudged nail. You're not, you can paint 5 layers. You're still going to see that little area where it was smudged. Right. Take it off
and start
over again. And there was a little bit of that. There was definitely some learn to love yourself. The anti-jealousy part was really big for me. So Maribel, which was Lisa's favorite character, doesn't have a gift. And in this home,
or so she thinks.
So she thinks, yes.
But she does.
Yes, but
and
she
hers
does.
is the most important one.
It is. Really. But she doesn't, like in a lot of families, she doesn't have the gift. She's not Isabella.
The flashy
where
gift.
She's beautiful and she can grow flowers by looking at it. She's not the super strong one like Luisa. So she doesn't have a gift that you can see. And in this house, when you get a gift, you get a door. And when you get a door, everything behind that door is catered to your gift. Everything. And so this is a very big deal. So she is still in the nursery, even though she's a young woman. She's in the nursery because she doesn't have a door. She doesn't have a door. She doesn't have a room. So she shares a nursery with her little cousin, and he is little.
Or tween. How would you? Well, early teen, maybe. Maybe
you think?
Teen?
Oh, I thought she was. Like,
I don't know.
I thought she was like 16,
it's hard
17.
to tell with Disney characters because
she's 17, guys.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Because her older sister's old enough to get married.
Yeah,
and that's
teen.
I don't think she's that
13,
young.
14.
No, she's got to be 15. 16.
Okay, it's a debatable.
She doesn't watch anime, guys, so just trust me.
It's debatable.
She is not 13, okay? She's old enough to be traipsing in the streets by herself, singing songs to the kids.
Well, Disney does that.
They do. I mean, yeah. We're not going to get into that. They've done some growing, thank God.
But she was in the nursery.
But she was. She's in here with a little...
Which she was beyond the nursery. I'll give you that.
Well beyond that.
Yeah, she was beyond that.
I love that, it starts off, it's the day her cousin's supposed to find out his gift.
Yes.
And the last gifting ceremony was hers, and it was a dud. And it was the first time that ever happened.
She didn't get anything.
And I loved how she bought him a gift. She was caring for him. He was really scared.
Oh,
he was little.
You didn't do it.
And he was scared because once they get that gift,
so sweet.
The weight of that gift is on you. And he knew that. So he's like, oh man, like what if I get a gift I don't like or whatever? And there was never a hint of jealousy. I love that.
I did too.
I love that. There was never a hint of jealousy.
I think that's why I love her. She just has such a good heart.
Now, my husband, the little boy was his favorite.
He was adorable.
He is just cute. I mean,
and has Disney ever done a little black boy?
I don't think so.
I've never seen one.
I don't think so.
And
with black features. Yes. He had a wide nose. He had the curly afro. I mean, and Felix. Like Felix was the charmer, and he was certainly.
Yeah. So
certainly
Disney just really doesn't do with black.
No.
Lion King.
Well, girl, we all know. Now, listen, we know the Lion King is black. But
we do, but
they're
not
representative
of us.
But if y'all didn't know, Y'all can't tell me that Nala wouldn't. First off, her name is Nala.
They all were black.
They were all black.
They were all black, but still, it wasn't representative.
It wasn't.
You don't see yourself. And even the frog princess.
Yeah, I was going to say,
there wasn't much.
Princess Tiana,
besides her.
She was black for 10 minutes, and then she was a frog.
Right. And then the people around her were kind of weird looking and
they kind of tried to do this like Creole cartoonish thing.
Yeah, so it didn't translate.
Yeah, so they weren't married to her being black either. We knew she was black. She could season her food. That was the whole thing. You know, we knew that.
Cooking gumbo.
They were
restaurant.
They were cooking gumbo. And so a little fun, just 10-second thing. Her dad was one of the first African Americans to serve. He was based on a real life soldier who was black. Okay. And after her dad passes, she has a picture of him in her room, and she has his medals. And he was the first African American to receive those medals. And that was a big shout out for Disney. Okay. That was a really big deal. So that part of it was very true. And he did leave behind a daughter who loved to make beignets and gumbo. So that part was a little fun.
That's fun.
That was a fun thing. So it's
been so long since I've seen
it. So they did do a little history. Oh, I have like two. I have two Tiana Funkos.
But it just still. I mean, for girls, which I guess, to be honest.
But Prince Naveen wasn't.
Disney caters to girls. It's it's girl heavy.
And Encanto, first off, Encanto is for everybody.
It is. And
I don't care if you're white or black. There were a lot of men.
Which Disney
does not do.
Usually it's just the prince. They just don't do a lot of
and this boys. One, it was a pretty male heavy cast. It was really good.
Really representative. So if you've got boys, girls, whoever.
And different personalities. Bruno was very timid. To have such a powerful gift, he was this timid guy. He just wanted to make his mom proud. He didn't want to hurt people's feelings. He didn't want this gift. Like, I don't want to know what's going to happen to you, Lord. Just let it happen. I don't want to be involved. So it was really good. It was really good. It was
big thumbs up. So if you haven't
do more like this, Disney.
See it. And if you've seen it, watch it again.
Yes. And tell us if you're noticing some of this.
Get your takeaways. Because like I said, I enjoyed it and I did get some out of it, but not as heavy. When I talked to other people, I was like, oh, wow.
This is big. Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, I'm in the car singing the songs like this every time we get in the car. I'm going to watch it again. Scarlett's like, Mommy Maribel. And so I'm listening to the words, and there's a line where she goes, if you're impressed, imagine how I feel. Oh. And that's in the beginning. Welcome to the family, Mother God. That's her thing about her mom is, if you're impressed, imagine how I feel. And I was like, wow, I didn't think about living in the shadow. Because her mom's gift, she can heal you with any food she cooks. She's an amazing cook. So like people come up to her, their arms broken. Here's a pupusa. Whatever it is, they eat it and boom, they're good. And so my thought when you told me about the refugee part, I was like, but look what they brought to this town. Because they came in, they were refugees, but Louisa's strong. She literally moves. She's valeting donkeys, guys. She moves the church. She moves their houses. She's doing all this. And then the beautiful one, she puts flowers. So all their vegetation is alive, essentially because of her. The mom is healing people with a tortilla. It's like, these are some pretty dope gifts, but that's really heavy. It all falls on them. Mm-hmm. Now, my last question for you. Did the grandma have a gift? Because, girl, I felt like she was just really on them. And I'm like, what's your gift?
Having the kids. Sometimes, what's the quote about you might not do anything really important, but you might raise somebody who does.
I guess now that's fair.
Kind of, she was this rock. And one thing about the grandmother, now she had her faults. And, if you watch it and, we would get deeper into it, but we're not. But, she... there was a heaviness about her, but she had been through a lot of trauma. She lost her husband. She's a refugee, all these things. But once she acknowledged it, she was quick to correct it.
Now she did fix it.
And I love that about her. Yeah, so she did. They did not portray her as a bad person.
No, she wasn't cold.
So it wasn't malicious. No. It wasn't, I'm meaning to hurt you. She was a product of her environment and her circumstances. But once she figured it out,
but girl, I felt some kind of way. I said, girl, you ain't got no gift.
Well, that's something to raise
But I mean, she did. Yeah. She brought them there. So I'm going to give her that. She, according to everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, she's like the worst grandmother or mother ever. It's bad. They're not digging her.
I had compassion for her, even though I knew she was the problem.
Yeah, she was.
You kind of know what's going on, but I knew it wasn't malicious.
Yeah. Well, guys, there are already talks of an Encanto 2, and you'll see it's open. It's definitely open to a 2. And this is I want to say it before anybody else moment. I believe that the villain in 2, because I think he was portrayed as a good guy, but I don't trust him at all, is going to be Isabella's boyfriend / fiance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's going to be a bad guy.
Okay.
He has all the anime makings of
the bad guy.
He's just pretending.
Well, they can bust somebody in too.
He wants the gift. He is just trying to obstruct the gift.
We don't know enough about him though.
I'm telling y'all.
Okay.
I'm telling y'all.
She said it first.
Years of Disney, years of anime.
She said it first.
I want you all to know that I said this first. Okay. February 2022. I'm telling you. Him and that little mama of his. Don't let that old lady fool you.
Yeah, she was something about her.
They're the bad guys. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. So anyway, I'm excited for 2.
Well, thank you, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be for 2.
You're a talented guy. I mean, he said he didn't think it would be this big. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really
love it. So we have some pet peeves that we just want to throw out there with y'all.
That aren't the grandma on Encanto.
Yes. So mine is people hauling stuff on the freeway. Now,
yes.
If we talked about this might be a Texas thing, I don't know, because everybody here has a truck.
Everybody.
So they just feel like it's life, liberty, and hauling stuff.
Whether they can drive it or not, they've got a truck.
So recliners and mattresses litter the road. Now, I kid you not. Am I lying, Natasha?
You're not. And you know what else? Grills. Girl, do you ever notice the number of grills on the side? I'm like, you shouldn't have been telling this.
It's bad. Now, seriously, the ex-mayor of Dallas, and he was also the U.S. trade representative under President Obama, Ron Kirk.
Oh.
This is back in 2010.
Guys, I shouldn't be laughing. This isn't funny.
It's serious. He was injured when a metal ladder it was lying on the pavement. So somebody had lost it. And you know, I mean, on the freeway, you can't really stop. And
you can't swerve.
Right.
I mean,
so you just, it is
you just
what
run
it
over
is.
it.
So it was lying in the, on the freeway, and an 18-wheeler hit it, and it flew up, came through his car.
His windshield.
And
punctured him.
Yeah, in his arm, like an artery or something. Like, it was serious. He had to have surgery, and he's fine. And funny enough, I read that story like, oh wow, and a couple days later, me and Kennedy, Book Club Kennedy, were going to Denton, and probably 2 or 3 cars ahead of us, a ladder fell off this truck, hurls in the sky and comes down. Of course, we weren't right there, but we were behind it. So it hit somebody, and, everybody's trying to pull over and whatever. It's so dangerous. We're doing all this infrastructure bills and who's passing what. We need a whole system for trucks to drive on. Don't you feel like they need their own freeway?
You know what? And I grew, guys, I'm from Texas, and I grew up in the ghetto, very seriously, but I grew up with very country parents. My dad's never not had a truck. I've never not had access to a truck. And I think some of the issue is people see, like, my dad can haul anything, but it's safe. He knows how to use straps. He measures the weight. Like, it's just a whole thing for him. It's like Tetris beyond anything you've ever seen, because we have towed some crazy stuff. But people just toss it on the back and they go. And it's like, this is not.
That's what happens.
I myself have been driving, got hit with a freaking couch cushion, and you cannot imagine the panic when you can't see. You're going 60 something. I mean, I was probably going 70. So, I mean, that's the speed limit. It's 70. Yeah. A fucking couch cushion. And I'm like, holy shit! You're screaming, and I'm thinking, this isn't helping. And so I go to turn on the windshield wipers. It gets stuck between the windshield wipers. I'm just like, Jesus, help me. And I roll down my window, which I guess changes the air, the trajectory of the air around my car, and it goes whoop, and it rolls off, and I'm just like
on somebody else,
onto someone else. I'm like,
you
Lord,
can't help.
I could have died. Like, what just? I mean, it's just
that's my pet peeve.
Or there should be better fines. If you're towing, maybe you need to get a permit, because I'm telling y'all are laughing.
But the thing
these folks tow everything. Honey.
But y'all, if it falls,
we've seen a smoking grill on top of like couches and shit. The barbecue grill was smoking, and my dad was like, I guess where they going? They gonna have lunch. I said, Daddy, how are they gonna get down? It's a hot grill. Like, they're made of metal. He was like, they ain't think about that.
Well, they're towing mitts too, I guess.
It's
just, y'all,
but it's like,
it's out of control.
And if you're not from here, you just don't. You just kind of don't get it. We have to.
Because seriously, when the other day I was on the freeway, and
if you're not from here, you don't.
In Dallas, there's never a time when the freeway is not busy. I don't care what time of the day. This was the middle of the day, but still it was busy.
Yeah, but at 2 a.m., there are people on 75.
There's, say, 7 cars just right with you, And of the 7, me and maybe one other one wasn't towing it. Everybody else was towing stuff. But between lawn equipment, tree limbs, mattresses. I mean, just it's really a lot.
It does not match our aesthetic at all, but I'm going to share to our stories. I refuse to post it on our main page because it just doesn't match our aesthetic. But I'm going to share some real live sightings, and y'all are going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's serious.
It's a serious thing. So that's
think, what was that movie, Lisa?
When the people dying.
Remember?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's scary. Like, we'll think of it.
I'm going to think of it. But literally, you just get behind trucks, and I think, Lord, is this going to happen to me? Like,
there's been instances of people being decapitated.
Yes, and that's a real thing, guys.
With these pipes falling off big 18-wheelers and coming through,
which is one of Lisa's biggest fears.
Just the whole
Final
thing.
Destination.
That's it. It's just unsafe, and
it makes the Final Destination vibes.
It makes you so nervous.
Yes,
and depending on where you are on the freeway, you can't really get away. There's nowhere to go.
First off, you're going 70 miles per hour.
You just have to be there.
So you just have to roll through
and
it.
Pray that there's
I drove through paint one day. Fucking paint smear was all over under my undercarriage because it fell off the back of the truck. Like drums of paint. It was just everywhere.
It's a lot.
Yeah. You know what? That's not my pet peeve because I've been here so long. I'm just like, this is just the way of Texas. But I get it. My pet peeve is less lethal than yours, even though yours is valid. Now, along with yours, I will not drive behind them when they are carrying logs. No, ma'am.
I try not to, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes
I will pull over.
You get in a situation
you're stuck.
And you're the other day that I was like that.
You told me with the poles.
Yeah. Ooh. And you're just not in a safe place.
No.
And there's nowhere to go. You can't stop. So you just, I don't know. It's just a situation.
And I'm pretty well traveled. In the U.S., I'm missing 2 states, Oregon and Washington State. That's it. We're even talking about doing it later this year just so I can finally be like, woohoo, I've got all 50 states. And we're not talking flying, guys. I drive and I hike and I camp and I backpack. And y'all are probably like, is this chick black? Yes, I am. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a whole Instagram for Black Girls Hike. Please follow them. They're pretty awesome. But so we're talking traveling, and I've been behind some weird towed things just as a result. And if you're in an RV or if you have a camper on the back, you can't, whipping around people, it becomes more difficult. You can't do it. But it's just the wood ones. I've seen a load get lost, and I thought if we were any closer, we could have all died. Like I've seen a load get lost off that. I've seen them carrying boulders and it got jackknifed and like the whole thing flipped. I mean, I've seen some weird things happen.
Even if they measure and
you're trying to account for. You can't account for nature.
Stuff happens.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I'm
kind of nervous.
Your pet peeve is it's probably a pet peeve for me. Not so much the couches and stuff. It probably should be. I'm just so used to it, but. That some of that bigger stuff, it's like this. They need better systems.
And the ones that with cars, that makes me nervous too. Because the cars, they're there, but they're moving.
Cedric drove past a car that someone was. It came unhooked, And he just drove right by. He was like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like, call the police. He's like, call the police and say what? This was before he worked for them. I said, well, call them and tell them like someone was towing a car. I said, because babe, this thing's either going to stop and get hit or it's going to roll into somebody. There's no one powering this car. There's nothing you can do.
Just
but we just live.
But you see how that, if I had a driver, y'all, if that would solve all that.
Lisa said, if you want to get paid, you will not be driving behind me.
Well, I would just have the tinted windows and sit back there. And
you'd be oblivious.
You deal with it.
Yes.
Just deal with it.
That would be nice. Yeah. Okay. So mine, and if y'all do it, I don't hate you, but I want you to rethink your choices. Please stop having FaceTime or speakerphone conversations in public.
Please.
I have just heard some things.
It's too much information. We don't want to hear all that.
I was at Target and, I said, this is just too ghetto for Target. Like, this is like a Walmart happening, not a Target happening. And Scarlett was probably
hating Walmart.
I'm not, but it's just, you see things at Walmart and it is what it is. And you go to Walmart knowing you're going to see stuff. I go to Target with
to get away from
with a sedity air about me. Okay. And I'm not expecting it. So there's a Walmart where I grew up in the ghetto, but there ain't a Target. And that ought to tell you something about Target. So we're there. Scarlett was like between 2 and 3. And someone's having, oh my God, I slept with his brother. I have this burning. I went to the gynecologist. Like FaceTiming.
Oh my God.
In Target, in the baby section. So I'm pregnant and I have a baby. No, you know what? I wasn't pregnant. No. I had a baby carrier. I have a 2-year-old. She was 2, now I think about it. Going on 3. And she goes, Mommy, what's a gynecologist and what's burning her? And I'm like,
nothing.
She ate something really hot, baby. It was, that's spicy. And so now the person on the phone is like, girl, you talking too loud. You don't hear that kid? Now we're in this conversation. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't go to Target for this. And so there were other words that got said. The word vagina comes up and my husband's like, why is she saying vagina? I'm like, it's a long story. That's, guys, I need y'all to stop that. Yes. Just speakers, it's just it's not for that. Speaker is for when you're at home, you're cleaning your house, and you put your friend on speaker. Please don't FaceTime anything dealing with a vagina or cheating on your spouse at Target. No. That's so Walmart.
Nowhere.
Lisa said it ain't appropriate for anywhere.
Nowhere.
Yeah, that's
we don't even want that at Walmart.
That's so
just
Walmart.
Stop it.
Now we need some sexy. Now we need some sexy. It was horrific. And she said vagina for a very long time.
So we're going to climb off these soapboxes, y'all. But our sexiest men alive, I am picking Clive Owen.
Who's that?
He is a British actor.
Girl, you love the Brits.
I do.
This is your thing.
It's kind of my thing. He's
my.
He's just sexy. Got a sexy voice. He's been in lots of things. I can't just off the top of my head.
Yeah, you know
him. But
you've picked the same person. You haven't picked him, but you pick people that look like him every time.
I have a type.
Clearly.
Yeah. But he's cute. Isn't he cute?
He is, but he looks like everyone else you pick.
Oh, gosh. No.
Now that I'm looking at him, I'm like...
I saw him in something kind of recently, and it was kind of rom-comish. Not quite. It was kind of serious, but there was some funny parts. And he was cute. And he's not very
Does he have the accent? See, that's your thing. That's your thing.
Maybe it's the accent. It's the words. I told y'all I like
now
words.
He was on GQ, y'all, and he is really really cute. He has a great smile. Just fabulous teeth.
Sexy. They all have. Well, you can buy those.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
He has very symmetrical eyes. I know this is weird stuff for me to know.
Cute.
But he's your type. This is like, guys, Clive Owen is nothing new. This is just one of Lisa's picks.
Is that mean or what?
I'm looking at him and I'm like
a guy like that. Guys that just they go for blondes, always blondes.
Did you watch Blood Ties? He was on that.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Is it what kind of a show was it?
With Mila Kunis in his lap. That's where I've seen him before. I don't know how I even saw this.
Is that a vampire thing?
It's not.
Oh. I was going to say, well, I wouldn't have seen that.
Vampire stuff is my jam. You know what? I want Kennedy back on the show. Because when you said vampires, my books, I usually gravitate. And I'm like, we're going to bring Kennedy back. If you guys remember, Kennedy is our book club person. And it's Ken's book club. I need to put it on our link tree. Yes, Kennedy she finds books you would never find.
Yeah, she does have some odd books too.
Shout out to her because she
really likes very angsty books.
She does.
Because she says she likes to live vicariously through that and not have angst in her real life.
I like that.
That's her
Girl, I'm gonna start reading some crazy stuff. That's a good one. That actually makes sense.
So just do all the
Siobhan's books are very different than her. Siobhan is her husband, and he guest appears sometimes. He's eye candy, y'all. So too young for me, but he's cute. So we need to put them on because they would get us some good books. Yes.
We'll have them back on.
So my person, and this is kind of a long time one for me, John Leguizamo.
Oh, this is back to Encanto.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But he's a kid.
And he was Bruno, right?
He was Bruno.
Oh yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno. I love the whole soundtrack, by the way.
Guys. I wonder was that his voice too?
Did he
sing? Oh, it is.
That's him. Yeah,
that's a good voice.
He is daddy. I
did not know he sang.
That was my thing. Cedric was like, yeah, that's him. I'm like, oh, he's an actor. He's like, yes, but he's singing. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, that's him.
He has a great voice.
He has an amazing voice.
I did not know that.
Would have never, ever.
I mean, put the voice. No. I mean, the singing voice.
It's him.
Wow.
Daddy John.
I like him.
And he's funny.
I mean, that's a great comedian.
That's my thing.
And lots of things. He's a
cutie. Guys, I'm going to do an impromptu check-in. This will only take us a minute. How are your two people going? Because my baby is still with Kim K. How are J-Lo and my brain? But you're gonna know Ben and Jen. They're still going. They're strong. Still together, y'all. They're still together, guys. You remember this was Lisa's jam. I'm talking about
I'm still following them because we like do-overs.
We do.
We're all about do-overs and second chances. So they're still going strong, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed. They seem very happy. Oh. J-Lo, a movie, it's already out when you hear this. She has a new movie with Owen Wilson.
I did not know this.
A rom-com.
Well, she has a new song.
We
Marry Me?
That's the name of the movie, too.
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we might have to go to a matinee.
We may need to see this.
When nobody's there.
Yes. Because I did not know this.
We're still being cautious, y'all. With COVID, but
because I was pretty sick.
Yeah, but during the day,
there's no one there.
Yeah, there's no one there.
Oh my gosh, and I could eat popcorn and
that would be fun.
Now me as a mom, that sounds so fun because I'm like, there's no kids there, they're all at school. So yes,
and
our people, they're still going good.
Yeah,
they're still. So that was just my 1 minute check in. I had not seen anything about them. So I wasn't sure.
Well, she's been on talking about the movie. So it's not so much them, once they've been together a few months, it kind of dies.
It fizzles. It fizzles. Yeah.
So people are not quite as, what's the word, frantic to see them, but they're still going strong.
And, it's the new is gone, but Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian are still.
But the divorce is getting kind of messy.
It is. But what did you expect?
What did better. I expected better.
I didn't expect better.
Well,
from Kanye?
No,
I did.
No,
I did.
Never mind.
I did. Not at all.
Well, hope springs eternal. I just was thinking he was. Maybe.
One would hope, especially when there's children involved. That's the thing now. Thank God, when I was in school, I probably did some really dumb shit, but there was no Rolodex. There was no, documentation, Instagram, all these things. This is stuff you're going to say this, and your kids can look this up.
Right.
This isn't going nowhere. They're going to be able to, and you're going to say, I didn't say that. And they're going to be able to roll. They're going to
you did.
Google it. Yeah, you did. Here it is.
Here it is on
camera. Yeah. Like, oh, what, years from now, they're like, what's Twitter? Oh my God, look what Dad said on Twitter. It's so bless
just
their hearts.
Walk away and co-parent.
Yeah. But I think if Pete Davidson can weather this storm, girl, he is in, honey. I mean, I'm talking about he is there.
Knock on wood.
Because this is it, but it's a lot. Like Kanye is a lot as a person.
Really.
First off,
too much.
He too much as a person. I cannot imagine dating
on his good day.
He's too much. So
and on the bad days, I don't even. I couldn't.
I was never like a Kim Kardashian fan. I didn't hate Kim Kardashian. I didn't love Kim. I just whatever was indifferent. But I'm like almost a fan now because I'm just really rooting for her. I just want her to be happy.
Yeah, me too.
And I just feel like you, as a grown man, attacking the character of the mother of your children.
Yeah, stop. This is like your pet peeve, almost.
Yes.
It's just
because you out there on speakerphone. It's not appropriate. Just stop it. Yes. So I'm still rooting for them. That's our love check-in after our Sexiest Man Alive, because that's our check-in for Ben and Jen and for Kim Kardashian.
So going with it.
And the tall and hilarious Pete Davidson.
Yeah. Love him.
I do love him. You're gonna come around. You're gonna love him too, Lisa.
I do.
But I'm gonna tag Ken's Book Club in case you want to live vicariously through people, or even deflect your own stress by reading other people's drama. I think I'm gonna start doing this. Till next time, guys.